What up, peeps? It's your girl Dash coming back to you for real takes. Today I'll be discussing a little bit of movie news earlier in the week. I normally wait till the weekend, but some of these things that are coming out, I don't think I can wait. Now, this one has to do with horror, and it's two different things that have come up. One that I'm not sure about, and one that I'm actually excited about. Now, the first one is it is word out that LeBron James is in talks to produce a Friday the 13th, possibly a reboot of sorts. Now, I was taken aback by that. Now, not so much for the simple fact of him being, a part of Hollywood. I know he's trying to kind of carve out his, part in Hollywood, a little bit more of a splash into in the entertainment business. Now that he's now moved to LA and is now a part of the LA Lakers, he's going to probably be a little bit more visible in that area as well. Now, I already know he's within the entertainment business because he's been an executive producer for a show called Survivor's Remorse. I knew about that. And then also I know he's actually heavily involved with the new movie that's going to be coming out or getting ready to be worked on as Space Jam. I think they're going to start production, after the off season of the NBA going into next year, 2019. So I remember hearing that he was attached to that, so I'm not, worried about that. I remember the original Michael Jordan, so now we're doing it more revised, up to date, and now it's going to be LeBron, so I wasn't surprised by that. This one does catch me off guard. I'm curious to see, that of all the things he picked the horror genre. Not to say he probably loves horror, whichever, but just thinking out of all the things, I would have never thought it would be that, and then Friday the 13th of all things. Now, when I thought about that, I recall hearing, I'll say a couple months ago, of certain reboots that Jason Blum was interested in considering, doing a reboot or remake. Some people had thrown out the Blob. People had said something even about a Friday the 13th as well. I already know he was attached to doing the one for Halloween, which did very good this weekend. I think it made about $77 million for, a good, first, weekend out of the gate, which is great. I probably expect it'll probably make quite a bit, not the same amount, but maybe a nice amount, maybe half of that going into the weekend right before Halloween. But I'm still kind of at a loss for that now, and where that came from. I'm hopefully somebody will interview him recently, just ask him, because I didn't realize his, fascination with horror to be considered in that. But there's nothing wrong, because that's a genre that a lot of people like, and if he can tap into that, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm curious to see how much clout he has, to see if he can possibly turn that around. Now, the last one I remember seeing for Friday the 13th was the one that came out in 2009. I actually enjoyed that. It starred Jared Padalecki, who's from Supernatural fame, the TV show. So I was a fan when I found out he was going to be in that, so I decided to go see it. And I actually enjoyed it. It was really good. When it did pretty well that first weekend, I think the second weekend, I thought the possibility they would do another one to kind of revive, the way the franchise was and keep making them, but it did not work like that. So we are now in 2018, 9 years later. Who knows? Maybe something might transpire where we might get, a new one. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I know there's still a lawsuit pending from Victor Miller, who is the guy who wrote the original film and also the creator of Jason Voorhees. So it depends on how that ends up turning out, but I know they would like to put one out, and I'm just curious to see how this will come to be, especially if he wants to, put his stamp on this. I'm really fascinated about it. I'm curious to see how that's going to pan. I'm looking forward to getting more information as time goes on. The more and more we hear about it, because like I stated, he's in talks. There's nothing definite or concrete, so I'm basically going to have to keep tabs on this particular story. So when I know about that, you guys, you already know I'll say something, because you already know I love my horror. Now, speaking of something else I'm actually excited about, word is out, not so much word, but little comments that Robert Englund has kind of teased about the possibility of maybe doing one more Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. Now, I know that I have been a fan of those movies from that franchise since the first one. I loved it. I loved some Freddy Krueger. I loved me some Robert Englund. And I'm kind of down for that. I will say this, that's kind of really out there and far-fetched if that does happen. But I will say this, if it does, that would be nice. Now, you all know he's up a particular age now. I think he is 71, so he can't move at the pace he wants to do whatever with the amount of what they would ask of him to do the movie like he did in the past. That would be interesting. If he does have it in him to do one more, how would the storyline go? Where would they start at? You know, how would they do this? Are they going to just revamp and start from the beginning? I don't know. And that's the thing I'm curious about, if they even consider the idea, if he's putting it out there to whomever is considering doing that. Now, I remember they did, you know, A New Nightmare. Didn't particularly care for that one. It was some garbage. I really didn't like it. So I'm curious to see, you know, the possibilities, if he's, you know, laying the foundation to kind of see if they make it worth his while, if he decides to do it. Now, while we're waiting for them to say this is going to, you know, get some traction and some legs off of it. Until then, if you all are not aware, he actually has posted it on Twitter, and also the show The Goldbergs, that he will be doing a nice little cameo hint of with Freddy Krueger, no less. It's a Halloween episode. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. When I heard he was going to do that, I think it's actually this week, you guys, October 24th. And I would definitely check it out. I have already set my DVR because I work that night, so I get home late, but I still want to watch it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And it looks like it's just a whole bunch of fun. I saw a picture, which I'll post up in here, where it shows the mother from the Goldbergs, you know, with him. He's behind her, similar to the picture he took with the girl who played Nancy in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'm looking forward to seeing the overall premise of how this came to be, because I know they do a lot of stuff that's, you know, around the 80s theme of the show, so it just makes it really nostalgic for all of us who love Freddy Krueger. And also, speaking of that, you guys, I just want you all to comment also on this, like, which one out of all of them do you like? Now, for me, I had my favorite. I liked Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, number 3. That was one of mine. I loved it. I think it's called The Dream Warrior, if I'm not mistaken. I love that one. I love the first one. I did enjoy the second one. The third one was really good, especially when they brought back Nancy. I really enjoyed that. And I'm looking forward to just seeing him in one of those particular, doing just something that we all grew up watching, still creepy to this day to me sometimes when I watch it, whichever. And just, you know, he made it his own. It's almost like, even when they did The New Nightmare, it just wasn't the same because we knew it wasn't him, so I couldn't really enjoy it for what it was. But it's fine. It is what it is. But I'm looking forward to seeing him on The Goldbergs. And if I want to pull it out, I have these movies on DVD. If I, you know, the feeling hits me to watch it, plus Halloween's right around the corner, I'll probably pull out my favorite one anyway and watch it, and just, you know, and take it back there. But speaking of Robert Englund, one last thing, I just got to go back in time, really back in time. My love of Robert Englund really started, and everybody should know this, was when he did the V series. He was Willie on the show. I loved when he was on that. Just felt he was so very innocent and just seemed so harmless. Like, you know, he was shy. You know, he had a little crush. You know, I can't remember the girl's name on the show, the woman's name on the show. But he was just so, you know, innocent, whatever. And how they tried to torture him to expose him for being an alien. Oh, it was so good. I missed that show because that was one of those shows that I really enjoyed back in the day. And I didn't really know who he was until I saw it. And then when he came out in Nightmare on Elm Street, then I was like, oh, that's the guy from the V series. So, but yeah, I just had to go back there real quick because it just made me think of that. Anytime I think of him in these two particular characters more so than anything else. So, but with that said, you guys, comment below. Let me know what you all think about the possibility of him considering, you know, having one more in him to do one more Nightmare, you know, or you're just like, you know what, should they do somebody new? Should they start over from scratch? It is what it is. Same thing, like I said, with Jason's Friday the 13th. How do you feel? Should they start it from the beginning? Because if they do one, this can just go into a ripple effect where they're going to do more than one. And I think with what he said, Robert Englund said the same thing when they asked him. He was like, you know, I don't think I could do it. You know, if they do it, whatever, they'd have to do more than, you know, one. It had to be somewhere like 6, 7, 8 of them, whatever, and all that. But he feels like he has enough in him to do one more. So fingers crossed for that, you guys. So, but with that said, you guys, hope you enjoy this video. And like I said, hit up that comment section, and I'll talk to you on the next movie news, you guys. Take care.